The most life-threatening autopilot feature, I believe, in my opinion, that my 2021 Model 3 has, and it almost got me in serious trouble. Now, before I begin, I'm not a hater. I love this car. This car is the cat's meow, as they say. Okay, this car is alien technology. This car is awesome. But Tesla, please fix this, and I'm going to show you on my screen right now what I mean. And unless you consider yourself to be a bad driver, this is something that if you're a new owner and you haven't discovered it yet, you're going to want to know how to never ever forget to take care of turning this autopilot feature off. Unfortunately, you got to turn it off every single time yourself. There's no way around it. There's no other way. There's no tricks. There's nothing. Here it is. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's what I'm talking about. Hit select autopilot, then very simply turn this off, confirm, and make sure that it's off. And this will help you to not potentially get rear-ended, and I'll explain to you what I mean and what I'm talking about and how it could happen. I kept forgetting. At first I didn't realize that you'd have to fix this every single time, but long story short, because the car is just so amazing, I assumed that the automatic braking would be a lot better than it is. And again, I'm not a hater, so just, hear me out on this one. You'll understand what I'm saying. I was driving along, and I wasn't on the highway. I was on a street that has 2 lanes going one way and 2 lanes going the other way, meaning coming at me. And somebody wanted to make a left turn and cross in front of me. So what happened is, if most people will not apply the brakes, meaning myself going the direction I was going in this way, when somebody's oncoming and then makes that left to go in front of me, excuse me, unless it's a very close call, and of course unless you need to do so. Now what the car did is, when that person made a left to them to go in front of me like this, the car decided to put the brakes on. And I'm sure some of you have experienced when that happens, it's usually not very subtle in autopilot. It's very rough. So what happens is, to the person behind you, it may appear that you're braking overly aggressively and suddenly, more than they expect. And if they're trailing too close behind, what's going to happen. There's going to be a smash up derby is fun, not clack in the back of your car. And you don't want that to happen, and you certainly don't want it to happen on the highway. So I find it to be very, very dangerous. Now, if you're not a good driver, then I would take my chances in leaving it on, because it's going to pick up a lot of instances where you might not think to hit the brakes, and it's going to hit the brakes. So you have to judge for yourself as far as that's concerned. But if you are a good driver, I'm telling you, this is probably I won't say the only, because I'm not really thinking about anything else right now, but I could say that there's probably only less than a handful of features or things about this car that are not good. Everything else is awesome, but I would put this up there in terms of being very, very bad. And it would be nice if we could just have it so that it automatically keeps the settings the same way it keeps your settings for your seats and your lights and your driver profile. I would love it if they did something, and I understand they feel it's a safety thing, but until the feature is better, there's a lot of people that are not going to be more safe if they're a good driver with that feature on. They're going to be safer with that feature actually being off. So I do highly recommend, if you're a good driver, can't stress it enough, turn that feature off. Just remember, you're going to have to do it every single time. It does not get saved in your driver profile. So that's something I think is very important for new Tesla owners to know. And the other thing, which is off topic, but it's just something for new drivers, new owners, when you're charging the car, I'm fortunate to be able to run my business over the internet, and I'm able to run and keep tabs on everything from home if I choose to. So I don't need to do a lot of driving. I have not yet gotten the quicker charger for the house, so I'm using the slow charge because it doesn't affect me, and I can use supercharging if I need to, which is very close by. Um, if I'm in a situation where I need to do that. But what I'm trying to say is, one of the things I found that's unclear when you're charging the car, when you plug it into, and I'm not going to do a video visually showing you because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them out there, but there's a little detail that I'm going to tell you about that I haven't seen out there, and I think you can visualize for yourself quite easily what I'm about to tell you. So when you plug the car in at home and you're using the charger that came with the car, when you plug it into the wall and then you take the other end, you can push the button and then that opens the charge port. That's one way to do it, and you stick it in the charge port. Well, you're going to notice it lights up and turns green, so that means you're good to go, and you want to see the green light up on the base unit that's plugged into the wall. But what they don't tell you, what wasn't really easily available for me to find out, which I wasn't sure about, is does the green stay on? And I'm talking about the part that's next to the charge port when you've plugged in your car to charge. Does it stay green so that you know you're still charging? And what wasn't clear to me and what was hard to find, the answer is no, it does not. And as soon as you lock the car, actually, and maybe even before, it will not stay green, it will go off. But your car is still charging, so everything is fine as long as you see green on the part you plugged in the beginning, and you see that green light up when you first plug in. It'll stay green in the charge port for, I don't know, maybe 20-30 seconds, and then it'll shut off. And especially when you lock the car, which also locks the charge port, so if you're not doing it in your garage, don't worry. If you're worried about leaving it on your driveway, for instance, and you're worried about someone coming along and messing with it and pulling it out, they won't be able to if you've locked up the car. So just two quick tips, two things that I wanted to go over for today's video. Enjoy. Hope you're having fun in your Tesla. If you're looking to buy one, best purchase or lease you're ever going to make in a vehicle. I've driven them all, a lot of high-end vehicles. It's my favorite. It's the best engineered vehicle that I've ever driven, and that surprised the heck out of me. And that's it. I'll see you all soon.